Perfect. We're on Tatooine. Perfect.
Yep. We're never gonna get off of Tatooine.
Yeah, apparently not.
Ever get off of Tatooine. We are in Tatooine for eternity. Or Tatooinity. Okay, 358 and 359 go live. Hello and welcome back to the future.
Wow.
I don't know, that sounded like Christopher Lloyd mixed with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Welcome to Bacta, the future, where if now that I'm correct, Boba Fett's now officially fully healed, and with some of that healing, I feel that a little bit of the show's wounds are healed as well, some of the fears I had of it, but at the same time, I also have some newfound criticism based upon some things we saw in the show that we should have all seen coming, but none of us did. But before I get into that, I'd like to welcome my co-host, John Davies from Cinema Obscuron. How you doing, John?
Hey, Mike. I'm good, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Pretty well. I was feeling pretty sad. I felt mostly satisfied with this episode, but I'm wondering, I know I saw your text earlier today, and you seemed there, or it wasn't a text, but it was you're sharing on social media for the show, and you said that it's like there's actual story progression and character, and I like this, and I was thinking I liked that too, but there are little bits of it I also kind of don't like. But well, what did you think of? What were your high thoughts on the episode?
Well, this would have made for a fantastic episode 1 of the series. Let me say that right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know, they really didn't need to build up to this episode at all. You know, some cool stuff did happen. You know, he hired a few people. They went back in time and kind of showed you the Fennec Shan story, how he came about her and helping her out, and like why the mods mean something to him now, which still, it's the Power Teen Ranger Titans. Like, I don't understand the whole situation between those kids. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they actually, like, starting to progress the story a little bit, which is good for the most part, even though it took them 4 episodes.
Yeah.
And he gets his ship back. He finally goes back and murders the Sarlacc pit. You know, he's obviously forgotten that the Jawas were the ones that stole his armor from him. That's kind of like a weird, like, mini plot hole. I mean, we haven't seen the whole series yet, so it's only a plot hole right now. But it's like, how does he not remember? But yeah, no, I
think I did notice that too. That was one of my kind of questions. Like, wait, didn't he remember that he grabbed the Jawa by the arm? I'm guessing when it hit him on the head, he was so out of it. Like, his body was alive, but not quite his mind, if you know what I mean. He's just kind of in and out of conscious, but he didn't know what's going on.
Yeah, but they took his armor off of him. That's a memorable experience for a dude like Boba Fett. And
I think he was just out of it.
It's like, yeah, I know. I mean, and like I said, like, we haven't seen the rest of the series. We don't know what's going to happen, but just weird. It's a weird little, amongst the rest of it, it's just a weird little thing with the rest of the show.
Yeah. That was kind of my the thing I was gonna say about it is, like, yes, we have story progression, we have character. One thing I did not expect to like so much was Boba Fett's monologuing, because there was an article that came out a few days ago where Tamara Morrison said in an interview that he thought Boba Fett was speaking too much on the show, and I thought, yeah, he's right. But then I see how much he speaks on this episode, where I'm pretty sure in that interview this was the exact episode he was referencing. And in this one where he speaks a lot, I actually didn't mind it, because now we finally know what the hell his motivation is. We know why he chose to become a criminal empire, and how he has become softened, which I still think is kind of an excuse, but you know what? I'm okay with him being softened. Just how much they soften him is the problem I have.
Yeah, but, I mean, they just keep doing it. They keep, like, killing his friends. It's like, dude, you guys relax. It's like, when I was a kid and I played with Star Wars kids or Star Wars toys with my friends, you know, in the sandbox, we had all kinds of cool adventures. None of them were like this, so you have to kind of like, you know, let these guys have their story. But it's like, we're just drawing it out. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad
that it's. And like I said, like this would have made for a fantastic first episode, and that just hints right back to that statement. You know, it's like
that's
cool,
the thing. It's like we have some good
over
stuff
and over.
Here. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
My apologies.
No, you're good. It's your show.
No. I shouldn't cut people off. That's something I've been working on, honestly. Yeah. But anyways, continue. What were you thinking?
Well, I was just going to reiterate what I said before. Like they just keep like creating the exact same chunk of empathy for him. It's like, yeah, okay, we get it, dude. He's not your average clone. He's got thoughts and feelings. Let's move forward. And we're getting that a little bit this episode, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we do see that he's learned throughout most of his life. He said, I've spent my whole life doing jobs for other people. And this is essentially where it got me, in the middle of the Sarlacc pit. And now that I've come back, you know, I want to extend the courtesy that the Sand People gave to me. And the way they extend their courtesy I thought was kind of clever. Because if it's Boba Fett, you think about it. He's not going to care about a bunch of people who like give him water and they're like, we care for you, we treat you. He would care for someone like the Sand People who basically would torture him and put him through trial. Since his entire life has been centered around neglect. Like if we think to those flashbacks he has as a kid where he sees the the Firespray now. The now titled Firespray is no longer Slave 1. And luckily it's not Boba Fett's starship, it's the Firespray. Drive away. You know, you get the idea this guy's dad was always out doing jobs, doing bounties, instead of maybe taking care of him. I mean, yeah, he did take care of him. He raised him to become a bounty hunter, but I think there's some abandonment issues that maybe they'll touch upon with that. Because it seems like Boba Fett's always been alone his whole life, and now he finally felt like becoming part of a tribe, more or less, made him a new man. And he explained that, and I really like the fact that he explained all that, and that Jon Favreau said on the phone in Atlanta when Tamara asked him, do I have to say all these lines? Favreau said, yes.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, man, we gotta hear it.
Yeah. We do because because we were questioning if that was his motivation, and there was mostly just visual storytelling.
And there
but this kind of
wasn't
complements
any...
the visual storytelling, which is what I kind of liked about this episode so much. I'm like, yeah, it's not the best storytelling. It's not Gone with the Wind. It's not, you know, it's not exact. Oh my God, oh good. I thought I glitched myself.
It's not Rogue One.
Oh no, Rogue One is. Don't get me started. Rogue One is like, if people are like, I want this cool shit, I want that cool shit, then go watch Rogue One, dude. That's all. Yeah. That's nothing but cool spaceship shots and fight sequences and fan service, and there's absolutely no soul to it whatsoever. But that's my rant. And at least the Book of Boba Fett, I will say, does seem to have somewhat of a soul. Like, even if it doesn't land as hard as the Mandalorian does, like, at least we're seeing a little bit of progression here where Boba Fett's not just a cool action figure that you smash against other action figures.
And it's... Sorry, I'm trying not to die here and play the stupid... Okay.
I know, that's part of the challenge, baby. You gotta have a cohesive thought. Why do you think I'm always like third or last place?
It's not gonna happen. Yeah. It's still a lot of fun, and like I was saying, like I didn't have these adventures when I was playing with toys in the sandbox, and it's fun to see somebody else's ideas like fully fleshed out. That part's kind of cool. It is not what I thought it was going to be, which is cool. Mm-hmm. You know, that's fine. Is it below expectations? I don't know. It's not over yet.
Yeah, it's definitely below expectations, but I feel like they know they're having a payoff because some of the other things, based upon the Mandalorian and other shows like that, I feel like this will be one of those shows where it's like it'll come down to the last episode, and the last episode's length will still be short, but then it'll be like but it had this and it had that. It's kind of like The Mandalorian when, I remember the second to last episode of the second to last season, you know, they're going to set the whole thing up like Boba Fett and Din Djarin and the whole gang is going to go rescue the child. But then they go like on a side quest with Bill Burr like the week before that. And everyone's like, what the fuck is this Bill Burr episode doing here? And like, how are they going to wrap all these things up? Are we going to find out what happens with the Darksaber? Are we going to see what Grogu's fate is going to be? And you know what? No, we didn't get all those answers, but that ending was so emotional. I honestly kind of was hoping for a different Jedi outside of Luke, and I'm in the minority with that, except for Ian Simmons. He agrees with me on that. From Kicking the Seat, quick little plug there. Like, it was so emotionally gratifying that I didn't mind not having those answers, and I feel like if Boba Fett's going to set up for that, like, am I getting a big payoff? But no, but at least it's giving me a little tinkering of hope. And it is giving me something I didn't expect, but I appreciate.
Yeah. I mean, and they're literally like, it seems to me like they're kind of leaning on the Mandalorian show for this show a little bit, which I'm not a huge fan of. Yeah, I say a little bit, and I say a little bit facetiously. But yeah, it's like I'm not a big fan of that, but that's kind of where they are right now. It's like they built so much with Mandalorians, like they have to continue with that story and that timeline and whatever, and this is where we are with that, and it's not, you know, Boba Fett doing jobs, you know, it's not him getting the Bounty Hunter Guild back together or whatever we thought it was going to be in the beginning. It is what it is. It's like a slow process for him, and
yeah,
I don't know. It's just a different story than we expected, and I'm still here for it, man. Seriously, I'm still here for it. Last episode was kind of weird, and if those when those kids come back, we're gonna moan about that again. But whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm just sitting here watch it.
Speaking of those kids,
I'm gonna dig it.
I kind of liked that whole silly sequence where they put Fennec Shand back together. I don't know who directed this episode, but it was a name I am quite honestly not even familiar with, and I was shocked to see Robert Rodriguez didn't direct this episode, because when they have like the whole like punk like music playing while they're reconstructing Fennec's stomach, I'm just like, oh man, I could just see like Robert Rodriguez giving this director notes like while he's like smoking weed, being like, hey man, just make it like a music video or something. You like fucking cool, right? You know? Yeah.
That's what it was. It was like a CSI episode or some shit. It's like, yeah, let's get, you know, cool close-up shots of him changing his arm to different modes, and she's like, all right, whatever. with the cool like techno, and it's like, okay.
It was so stupid. I liked it.
I know. It's like not my story, but I'm still here for it. Whatever.
I'm like, I didn't expect this, but then again, I'm like, wait, Robert Rodriguez is like definitely executive producing this, judged solely on that sequence. And I can guarantee you, like, the techno kids was, because you gotta remember, yeah, Robert Rodriguez is the machete guy, but the machete guy, but he's also the Shark Boy and Lava Girl guy.
Yep.
So you gotta remember, he knows exactly what Disney wants, and he knows how to water it down if he has to.
And he knows the audience. He knows his audience. He obviously understands the Star Wars audience.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like he leans too much towards the kid stuff, and he's trying to balance it between kid stuff and like cool stuff. But a lot of that is neutered when Boba Fett is doing scenes where I get he's a better guy now, but like, does he have to be like petting a bantha saying, "Go make bantha babies"? Yes.
He murdered 30 people on motorcycles. That was fantastic. He killed the Hell's Angels in one swoop.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it was kind of a bitch move. He's just like, you know, spamming above them and then just hitting fire. But
what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Still, it's like he doesn't care. He's like, fuck it. I'm gonna
give those guys a chance.
Yeah. I did like it. Speaking of which, I will say, I kind of sent this one idea to you called like Boba's idiot moment of the week, because like Boba Fett has always been continually doing dumb shit on this show. And this week he did do some dumb shit. And he goes into the Sarlacc pit. Goes back into the Sarlacc pit to retrieve his armor. And when he goes back in there, he almost gets swallowed again by the Sarlacc, is rescued by Fennec, and then gives Fennec shit for rescuing him. It's like, no, dude.
I mean, that whole sequence was just, again, like, kids in the sandbox doing weird shit, and that is not something that I would have thought of when I was a kid. And yeah, dude, it's like, why the hell? Like, why wouldn't you, like repel from your ship, you know, hang above it and lower yourself into it instead of what he was doing?
Or just drop the seismic charge first and then go in?
Yeah, why not make sure the thing is dead before you jump into it? You know, what are you doing? And then she's like, shoot it. He's like, okay, I'll shoot it, but my guns are like on the sand and I can't actually shoot it. So,
yeah, no, because when he was flying out, he like jammed him against the wall. He's like, I can't see anything. I'm like, you parked it, idiot.
It's like, what?
But, yeah.
You know, he did get the keys to his dad's car a little earlier than most of us. He's supposed to know his way around that ship a little bit better, and it's just like, what do you do? Why are you firing into the sand? Shoot it. The guns are at the back of the ship, you know that, right? Yeah. They're not on the bubble part where you can see stuff through.
Yeah.
They're not on the glass part, you dummy.
The funniest thing is, it's like a fundamental misunderstanding of that character, and that's part of my problem with the show. It's like, yeah, I think it'll have payoffs and it'll be cool, but oof, like the Disneyfication of Boba Fett is unignorable now. When he's telling a bantha to go make bantha babies, and is then petting the Rancor. Like, I get it, he's good with beasts. They're, you know, paying homage to the holiday special when he's riding on a gigantic purple dinosaur. But did we really need...
With Mando's weapon, by the way.
Oh, with Mando's weapon, that's right. That was the no disintegrations. That's what he meant.
Well, actually, now that you mentioned that... This series like totally erases my theory that Boba Fett was the one that went to Luke's, the water farm and burned to death his aunt and uncle. That's why he got bitched at by Vader. He's like, no disintegrations. Like, he didn't want those two roasted. That was my theory going.
That would have been fucking awesome.
That's been my, and he like faked it that it was the stormtroopers faking their way as sand people. Like, that was Boba Fett the whole time. It was just like him, and he destroyed that place and used his flamethrower to torch those two. And it's like, oh yeah, no shit, that's why he got bitched out by Vader. But this whole series is just like erasing that version of Boba Fett. It's like, no, he's a good guy. He would never do that. He would never be evil or like shoot somebody first for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he hates Han Solo so much because he's a spice trader. That makes sense now. Like, oh my God, you guys can slow down with the empathy building. Seriously, we get it. He's, like, for real, slow down.
Yeah,
we don't have to love this guy. We don't have to think he's like
keep going because Disney owns it.
Right? Yeah. It's like Charles Bronson from Once Upon a Time in the West. He's like, no, he's a good guy. He's like, kinda. He's just not as evil as everybody else, I guess. Oh, fuck, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, Boba Fett was still a bounty hunter. And it's like, at least, you know what? Here's what I asked
When he went into that pit, he had Wookiee braids on his shoulder. Don't forget that.
That's fine.
People are forgetting that. He murdered Wookiees.
Yeah.
It's like, he's not that great of a dude, but that's all they're doing. It's just like, no, build empathy. He's a great guy. He's a good guy. Pet the bantha, you know. Love the Rancor. He's a good dude. Hire the children. Slow down. It's 4 episodes in. It's like, oh.
I don't know if that's a Rodriguez
we got
decision
Mr. Rogers out there.
I don't know if that's a Rodriguez decision or a Kathleen Kennedy decision.
It's Disney's mitts. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's just the whole... It's just the entirety of the direction of, like we said last week. It's like the series, the Star Wars series is just for kids. That's it.
It is.
They're selling toys. They're doing stuff for kids. You know, we're not going to get the R-rated Star Wars stuff that we thought we would. We're not going to get the bounty hunters coming back and whooping some ass like we thought. It's just going to be slow burn after slow burn after solo story after solo story, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's okay, I guess. It's their stuff.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, we have to realize that, like, the stuff we love as fans will probably only exist in fan fiction because Star Wars is marketed for children. But I also think, like, even if it is marketed for children and that's the brand, blah, 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 you know, that's great and all, but what about, like, what if, I wonder what the case would be, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I wish Warner Brothers owned Star Wars instead of Disney, because I feel like if WB owned it, you would get like a Zack Snyder sort of Boba Fett.
They just rebooted 17 times. No, I do wonder though if there are, because Disney has, you know, Marvel as well as Star Wars. I wonder if there are Marvel fans out there that think the same way that we do about their Marvel products. You know what I mean? Like I was just such an sorry, I'm like trying not to die and talk at the same time. It's I was always such a huge Star Wars fan, so I had expectations going into this stuff. I wonder if there's Marvel fans out there that are like, yeah, Tony Stark would never do that. You know, there's no way Thor would act like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it is us building our own mythos around these characters. So I wonder if
that's
you know.
What I'm wondering too. It's like, yeah, you know, I'm not getting the image of Boba I want. But here's the thing. I don't want like a full blood and guts gory show or anything.
No.
What I want is just, you know, Boba not caring and being an unapathetic bastard. And here's the thing. I get it. You need to make your protagonist sympathetic, or else, you know, your audience can't connect to them. And also, it is Disney, and they really lean too heavily on the kiddie stuff, where they don't have to. Like, the show can just be bloodless and cool, but I get it, you can't teach children to become a bad guy and there's no consequences.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Boba Fett, sooner or later, will die, because, or he'll just live a very miserable existence in crime that he wants to get out of and continues a vicious cycle for himself, which will be an interesting place to go. But long story short, I want to see at least a flashback, something where Boba Fett reflects on the kind of person he is. Like maybe there's a scene where he does something bad, where he just doesn't care at all. And then you cut to him looking back on it now, and he's like, God, how could I have been like that? He doesn't even have to say anything. It could just be Tamara Morrison's face. And I trust Tamara Morrison's acting enough now where he could pull that off. Because I'll say, like, those monologues he does, he's really, like, his line, he's really kind of established a persona for that character over the years.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see him go forward with other characters also. He's in talks with doing live-action versions of other clones, Rex.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, with the Ahsoka show and all that other stuff coming. Oh my goodness. It is the time to be Tamora Morrison right now, holy cow.
I mean, as long as he's not like, how do I say it? As long as, like, they don't try to make him pull a Robert Downey Jr. doing Charlie Chaplin sort of thing.
No.
You know,
no,
where it's like, don't try to do something, don't try to be like the Bad Batch, because, like, I don't want him trying to do, like, a nerdy voice.
No,
like,
God,
it's going to look goofy, you know, just be Tamora Morrison.
Have him watch a few episodes of the Clone Wars, get a feel for the different characters, and then, bam, just act them out. Talk to Bradley Lee Baker a little bit. Be like, who are these guys?
They could make Bradley Lee Baker literally just like one of the clones and just, like, make him look a little bit like Tamora Morrison. And they could make that work where you can see how they're so different. And here's the thing, like, I'm cool with them making Boba empathetic, but I want to see at least that he used to be a monster. And that he goes, you know what, I used to be this way, I'm not this way anymore. And if we get that, it's like, hey, that's cool.
Maybe,
you know what, at least you guys know who the character is, you know he doesn't give a shit. Like, even if there's just like one episode where, yeah, I don't know, like maybe like a village of like, well, they won't have him kill kids like Anakin did. Like that scene from like Revenge of the Sith is never going to be replicated by Disney ever again. You will never see that again. And if it weren't for George Lucas, I bet Disney themselves would have deleted that scene. But at least I want an event where Tamara Morrison might, or Tamara Morrison, but whatever. The character of Boba Fett kills a bunch of people who don't deserve it. And, you know, we probably do one of those cheesy white flashes back to his face, and that'll be enough for me.
I mean, no more Bacta tanks, so quite possibly no more flashbacks. Is that something to look forward to here?
I don't know if that is.
He's healed.
That's a little bit of a fear of mine too. I kind of want them to stick with it to a certain degree. I don't need to see like how he got the armor and all that stuff. Like we can fill in the blanks. They kind of showed the little flashes to it where the show, I hope, is indicating, okay, you know the rest, you know. And
well, I mean,
we now
they did show
move
a bunch
forward.
of
That's
that
sorry,
in
I
The
just hope it's not
Mandalorian.
boring and they're just fighting a bunch of fish people or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that. More than likely, what's going to happen is we're going to see, you know, Mando come back, give him a hand. That's kind of what it looks like it's leaning towards.
Really? There's no way they could have made that any more unsubtle.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? With the music and all of it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're
like there's
some more
someone
people.
we can hire. Like, turn
Wonder
straight
who.
to the camera. Woo, 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 woo. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we get it.
Right.
They could have literally just had him phone call him.
But with him, like, he's got the Darksaber now. He's coming with the rest of the Mandalorians, which should be fun.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Boba Fett and Mandalorians and Black Chrysanthemum all fight together. So we probably won't get the Bounty Hunter Guild, but we'll get maybe the Mandalorians. Well, no, here's the thing. I think we'll get Din Djarin, but not the Mandalorians. But Mandalorian Season 3, we're going to go to Mandalore. Because Boba Fett doesn't care. As he said, Mandalore, that place has been turned into glass. So they have, we're going to find out why it got turned into glass. Because did they ever say what happened other than, like, you know,
I think it
Darth
was
Maul fucked
Operation.
it all up?
Wasn't that part of Operation Cinder? It just got annihilated.
Are you serious? I gotta
I
look
think
it up
so.
now.
Yeah.
Is that part of it?
I could be off, but I think that's what that was.
Was it in the Clone Wars, or when did they destroy Mandalore, like, in the canon? Was it during Rebels or Clone Wars?
I think it was like right towards the end of the Empire. Right toward, fuck, I don't know.
So yeah, obviously they don't have canon for it, so I think they're going to show what happened there and basically how Mandalore is trying to rebuild, and that they're going to reach out to Din Djarin and be like, I heard you rescued this child, and I know you own the Darksaber, and blah, blah, blah. But now we see how all these shows are connecting together. They're very much making it a Marvel thing, where they're, you know, having everyone intersect from each show into one another to create, you know, an expanded universe, which, okay, I'll take it, you know.
It's fine.
I mean, as long as Disney also produces things like Star Wars Visions, which is like just little short films that are fan fiction stuff, I'm cool.
Star Wars What If series would be fantastic. Come on, you guys.
Which one?
A What If series?
Oh God,
Would be
yes.
fun. Like, what if it was actually fun again? You know? No, but seriously, like a What If series would be fantastic, for real. Like, they could do anything they wanted to. They could satiate all their fanboys in 12 minutes and everybody would shut up bitching about their product.
Yeah.
But they are pushing, you know, the Bad Batch Season 2 is coming. It's like, oh, yeah, great. Okay, give us a What If series.
Yeah, I'm not going to see Bad Batch.
It's like,
I'll just stream it, thank you.
I'll watch it eventually, but it's like, I will not get excited about.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll probably see the first episode, and then I'll be like, yeah, cool, let me know what happens after this.
Well, like that show and this show, it's like making me super not excited for everything coming down the pipe. You know, it's.
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about, because it's like, I liked what they did, but it's like, but that's in contrast to, like, my expectations being lowered significantly from this show. It's like, he's a good guy now, that's great, but, you know, it's just a problem with the overall product of Disney. You can't really go places. I mean, they did a little bit with Avengers. They did have Thanos wipe out half of the entire Earth, but then they brought them all back. You know, so you gotta bring it back, and that's a key Disney rule.
Oh, eat it, Chewbacca.
You kill him?
I just threw him across the room.
Ooh. Oh, wait, who are you, Maul? Yeah, you are. I
Yeah.
see. You got the green dots. Look at this. Look at this. See, 4th place. This is what happens when I try to use cohesive thoughts. I stay in 4th.
All right. And it I don't know, it's kind of a bummer because like we were all, you know, psyched to see other Star Wars characters, and if they're just gonna lean on the other Star Wars characters and be in Din Djarin.
Yeah.
And just like, no, we're not gonna see Bosk. No, we're not gonna see IG-88. No, we're not gonna see Vader ever. You know, I mean, not in this show, obviously, but
eventually, because people like these characters. I don't know if we'll see it in this show, though.
It's like, are they seriously going to wait until the 7th episode to drop The Mandalorian on us as the...
No, he's coming next week, I think.
The super secret Star Wars cameo or whatever. It's like, why are you dragging that out? There's hundreds of... Nien Nunb, what's he doing? What's he been up to? You know,
yeah.
There's hundreds of characters, dude, seriously, and we've seen none. They make up 4 biker kids. And a whole situation with the mods, and it's...
I just wish that
not,
he
not
would...
my show, not my property, but...
well, that's the thing. I wonder if
more,
it's us bitching because it's not our property, or...
It's definitely
like, I'm wondering if we're giving it a fair shake, or if we're not being biased based upon our nostalgia.
We're 100% biased based on nostalgia. That's our problem.
Yeah.
And they did... I mean, they got us with the first 15, 20 minutes of the first episode. You know, we were all in from there. There's no going back. We have to sit and wait each week till it's over.
Yeah.
Kudos to them for releasing it on a weekly basis. You know, it's not like, you know, other streaming services where you could sit down and watch the whole thing and then be like, yeah, well, that was pretty good. I don't remember episode 2 at all, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know Mandalorian's kind of like that too. Like, are there any episodes you don't remember from Mando?
Are there? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Are there some that I would like to not remember? Yes, definitely.
Oh, really?
Lady, Ice Cave. There's some.
Oh God, I forgot about that episode. That episode did suck.
There's some slow stuff, but. You know, once the Jedi get involved, and you know, really, that was it. The fourth. I don't know what episode number it is, but from the last 4 episodes of Series 2 for Mandalorian are just some of the best Star Wars available.
Yeah,
honestly, that's some good stuff. And that's what we thought we were going to see when the Clone War was ending, and you know, Bad Batch was taking over, and all these shows. It's like we got one show out of it. That is absolutely fantastic, minus a couple of, you know, whatever slow episodes, but
yeah,
it's like it is again us just bitching about us not getting what we want, and it's not us playing in the sandbox with the toys right now. It's them. It's these cats. We gotta kind of just let them do what they're gonna do.
Yeah. And if the writing's good overall, I can forgive the show's sort of revision of the character, if you will. Because the thing is, they never said that he's a good guy, like, quote-unquote, per se. Like, yeah, they softened him, but we already know he got softened. Like, literally, Fennec has said to Boba Fett, the Sand People have softened you. Mm-hmm. But I'm just wondering if Boba Fett's going to be a killing machine at one point. Like, because we want to see Boba Fett do what he did with the Stormtroopers, but on a larger scale.
Even on a smaller one, we haven't seen, like, everybody was like, yeah, Robert Rodriguez directs a bunch of episodes in the Boba Fett series. Like, oh my God, because that one episode of The Mandalorian was so great. It's like, where is that guy? where is that Boba Fett? Like
they made a show about him.
He's like, give me back my armor. It's like, oh shit. When you see that ship show up on Typhon, you're scared to death. You're scared to death for those two. You're like, oh, they're dead. Yeah. You don't know what his intentions are coming down there. You're like, oh, they're just dead. They're not leaving. Yeah. Or he's leaving with the little green thing. And it's the Mandalorian 2. That's why they called it the second series, because it's a second dude now.
Well, here's the one thing was, like, I was like, oh, they Disneyfied him, and everyone's saying that, but I don't think we really let it sink in, I should say. Like, in the Mandalorian, when he said, you help me find my armor, I'm going to help you find your child. It's kind of like, wait a minute, would Boba Fett really do that? Wouldn't Boba Fett be like, hey, thanks for the armor, I don't care about the kid, that's your problem. Yeah. You should have just let me have it in the first place.
No, he's got compassion.
Yeah.
He almost died. He almost died in the Sarlacc pit.
I mean, but he did also threaten to, like, shoot the child in that episode, if I remember correctly. He said, like, Fennec has her weapon pointed at that little companion of yours up on the hill. But of course, he was bluffing, I think.
More than likely, but she wasn't. She would have done whatever he told him.
Turned out to be a cooler character than Boba.
Oh my God, I love
what I've seen in this show so far.
So there. I mean, we literally don't get that much from that character, but when she says something, there's just like a little look or a little smirk, or just like the way that she says it. It's absolutely perfect. Like that character is fully fleshed out by that actor, and I couldn't be happier for them.
Well, I like how they made them work together, because the idea is she's a bounty hunter and she kind of accepts the fact that her life isn't meant to have a greater purpose or anything. Mm-hmm. She's just meant to take the jobs that she can within a gig economy from a very cruel world that doesn't give a shit about you. So that kind of connects to Boba in a lot of ways. My most sincere hope with that character is, actually, never mind, I'm gonna cut that thought. But I was just gonna say, just in terms of badass moments, I really think like she's been kicking serious ass. Like the stick assassins, they took Boba down with ease. Meanwhile, Fennec, the first episode I'm referring to, like jumps over them and whoops their ass, kicks one of them over a balcony like it was nothing. Oh yeah, and then who was able to take on Black Chrysanthemum outsmarting him? Oh yeah, it was Fennec. It wasn't the piggies. It wasn't Boba, who decided a cool move would be to tackle a Wookiee by its legs. Right. Yeah, nope.
Oh yeah, when he got bit by a Wookiee, when is he going to turn into a Wookiee?
Does that happen? Are they vampires?
Oh yeah. No, dude, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But he did bite, like Chrysanthemum bit him on the hand.
Oh, I remember that. I don't know how like his whole hand wasn't missing. You know what reminded me of? Like, you ever played Resident Evil 7? Was it the one before Village? Yeah, 7.
No, I don't think so.
It's just funny, like in that game, like there'll be like parts of the game where like zombies will bite an enormous chunk of your hand off, and then you'll just like pour like healing acid on it, and your hand will just grow back. I'm like, did you just pour that shit on there after he bit it?
Oh, I'm trying not to die. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's part of the challenge and part of the joy with the show. It's like if there's dead air, it's because we're literally playing this while trying to talk and not die, because I like to challenge my brain.
Anyway. Oh, Boba Fett, I'm taking him.
Yeah, but Boba. Oh, you got Boba. Yeah, pick Boba. You'll do a much better job with him. A better job with him than I will.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
As Boba? Well, you can't zoom in with a rifle, which is what's really annoying.
Hey, you just have to free fire with this guy?
Yeah, and then like
Yeah,
when I
no,
try to
what's
just shoot over people on my rocket, it's
oh,
like
Jesus Christ, I'm dead already.
see, yeah. See, with Boba, you gotta play like on PC, because I'm guessing with a mouse and keyboard, you could just wipe people out
Yeah, they
with
do.
it. Because like the accuracy you get, like compared to like sticks, is like fucking.
Oh, it's
insane.
ridiculous, dude. And it's so like we're getting away from the show, but it's like so noticeable when you're playing this game against people that have that ability. It's like, oh, cool, headshot. Oh, and I can barely hit you in the face.
I don't know if they have that ability because it's not cross-platform, but yeah, there could be a way they could be like hacking their computer, like hooking it up to the PlayStation, doing stuff that, you know, I don't know how to do. It's a little beyond my recollection, but I mean, at least Boba Fett will certainly have his cheat codes when he takes on the fish guys. Like, the Pikes don't make a very strong antagonist.
Not really.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm not
It's interesting how quickly he wiped out a biker gang. It's, you know, these other guys don't stand a chance now that he's got his ship back.
Yeah, was that a biker gang, or was that also the fishy guys? I keep calling them fishy guys, the Pikes.
I think it was the biker gang, the ones that killed the Tuscans, yeah.
See, and I love that sequence because those guys are like 10 times Boba's height almost, and weight, and he just fucking took care of them like they were nothing with the stick. Which, it's funny, one of my co-critics, Annie Banks, she was mentioning on Ian Simmons kicking the seat. It's like, it's funny how we went from like all these Star Wars toys and all this cool shit, and we thought we were gonna see like Boba Fett's armor, and it's like, no, you get a show with a guy and a stick. But now I'm wondering, when is he gonna use all the cool toys? Because you know Robert Rodriguez hopefully has that scene saved up where he's like, don't worry, man, you're gonna hate this, but like, we're gonna have him use the toys and shit.
I hope so.
I make him sound a bit like Cheech and Chong. Which, I don't know, which one's Chong? Which one's, you know, the hey man, that one? Which one's
That's Chong. Yeah.
That's Chong? Okay. Yeah, he does sound a little bit like Chong, and of course Chong's his friend, which, can they put Cheech and, if we're gonna go full Rodriguez, let's put Cheech and Chong in the Book of Boba Fett. I would love for him to like just buy like weapons from their shop. Be like, what do you want, man?
Dave's not here, man.
Yeah.
Fuck these guys.
If going off my notes, let me see if there's anything I forgot before I take off. Really great. Make baby banthas. Oh yeah. What do you think of this renaming of Slave 1? It's Firespray now. They can't call it Slave 1. It's Boba Fett's starship. Or no, it was, and now it's actually Firespray.
It's a pretty wise move. You know, they were kind of boneheaded for naming it the Slave One in the beginning. They're kind of boneheaded for calling like Jedi Master's Master. It's like there's some negative connotations attached to both of those words.
Yeah.
It's a good move. They should. I mean, it's 40 years a little bit too late. They should have had quality control back then, but you know, whatever. We're here. It's a good idea.
I mean,
I have no problem with it.
I'm fine. I was fine with its old name. I thought it was like a very kind of like scary name because
but we're white dudes. That
ship looks like, as a character, that
for...
ship looks like it doesn't want to be there. You know, it looks beaten up. It looks rusty. Its engine sounds like it's screaming in pain. You know, and who better to drive that than Slave 1? But of course, Disney probably said, we have this Boba Fett show coming out. We can't have children, you know, with bad English asking their mommies, "Mommy, can I buy a slave?" You know, we have to rename it. You know, so I mean, I get it from a business angle, from a creative angle. I feel like I get it. It's maybe not an appropriate name, but then again, Boba Fett was a guy who didn't give a shit, and it was kind of fitting with who he was.
Yeah, but I mean, we're two white guys, and those words don't mean what they mean to other people.
Yeah.
Like they carry a lot more weight with other people.
Well, it's funny you say that. I'm going off a note from Ian Simmons. 1 second.
Doesn't really matter what I think. You changing your tape?
Hello?
Yo.
Yeah, sorry about that. Small technical difficulty. I forgot to disconnect my cell phone. Anyways, as we were saying, what were you saying before I got distracted?
About which?
You can rewind it. It's all good.
Okay. Oh, I think we were on taking the Slave One name away. One of my colleagues was telling me that he's actually a black guy and he had a problem with the rechanging of the name Slave One, which is kind of why I was addressing it, because I definitely was kind of like, wait, should I say anything? But then when he said it, I'm like, all right. But then again, that's just one guy's opinion.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and our opinion about those words don't mean anything really. It's those words carry a lot of weight. I'll just repeat what I said earlier because obviously we're distracted. Those words carry a lot of weight with other people,